Natation Canada tient à remercier ses partenaires. Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Comité olympique canadien. Canadian Olympic Committee. Comité paralympique canadien. Canadian Paralympic Committee. Le gouvernement du Québec. The Government of Quebec. Mieux pour tous et toutes les façons dont Bell redonne aux communautés et au sport à travers le Canada. Bell for better and all the ways it gives back to communities and sports across Canada. Murtha Pools, toujours au cœur des sports aquatiques de haute performance. Murtha Pools, always at the heart of high-performance aquatic sports. La Société de sauvetage du Canada, votre partenaire de confiance en éducation aquatique et en prévention de la noyade. Life Saving Society Canada, your trusted partner in aquatic education and drowning prevention.
I have a disability, but I'm not fragile. My first big hit was a rush. It made me feel alive in a way only sports can. Because of partners like Bell, I get to feel it on the world stage. And now I get to share that feeling with the next generation.
The scene is the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre, where Canada's best swimmers are battling for spots on the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic swim teams for Paris 2024. Night one started with one of the sport's biggest names, London, Ontario's Maggie McNeil, grabbing the butterfly bull by its horns, dominating the 100-meter fly. Her first race was successful. She takes it, Canadian champion, and signs her ticket to Paris 2024. Welcome poolside inside the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre. Rob Snook alongside Byron McDonald. We're gearing up for night two, which begins with the men's 400-meter individual medley. The name we expect to talk about is joined by another name in this race, but let's start with Calgary's Lauren Wigington.
Well, Lauren was Swim Canada's Junior Swimmer of the Year in 2023 with good reason. He won a bronze medal at the World Junior, which is the 18 and under championships, and he has been getting better and better and better. And right now, he's poised to be able to win this race, but he's going to get a good push from Tristan Yankovic, whose improvement, he's a bit older than Lauren, but his improvement has just been through the sky. And I think he's going to be able to push, and that's key, because for these two guys to get under that standard, they're going to need each other to get to that tough standard to get to the Olympics.
Next race we need to talk about is the women's 200-meter freestyle. It's an event that's really important for qualifying for Paris and also about relay spots. Summer McIntosh will be a big name, but she's getting a challenge from Mary Sophie Harvey, who has really seems to have taken the next step, Byron.
Well, it certainly has. She was identified as one of the top 14-year-olds in the country about 8, 9, 10 years ago, and then she had a few blips in her career, but boy, she seems to be finding that potential and realizing it now, and it's great for Canada. She's needed for the relays and the individual events. Made it last night in the 100-meter butterfly. Now she'll be poised to challenge Summer. And of course, we can't forget in this race, Penny Alexiak, Rebecca Smith, members of that relay from Tokyo. So this will be a great race. Some very young swimmers in there as well to challenge.
The buzz around the pool is about the women's 100-meter breaststroke, where not one, not two, not three, 5 different swimmers are within striking distance of the Olympic qualifying standard. How do you see this race shaking down?
Well, there's a couple of Olympic veterans, Sydney Pickram and Kelsey Wogg, so obviously you've got to be looking to those because of their experience. But there's 3 newcomers that have decided, you know what, you got an opening in the breaststroke? I'm putting my foot forward. 5 of them within a few tenths. This could be anybody's race, and there's a possible medal at the end of the rainbow here because Canada's medley relay is very good.
Olympic, Paralympic positions all up for grabs. Tickets to Paris, night 2, coming up from Toronto.
We'd like to recognize that the land we're standing on today is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. It is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and Williams Treaties signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Nous reconnaissons que la terre sur laquelle nous nous réunissons est le territoire traditionnel de nombreuses nations, notamment les Mississaugas du Crédit, les Anishinaabe, les Chippewa, les Haudenosaunee et les Wendats, et abritent maintenant de nombreux peuples diversifiés des Premières Nations, des Inuits et des Métis. Nous reconnaissons également que Toronto est couvert par le traité 13 avec les Mississaugas du Crédit et par les traités Williams, signés avec plusieurs bandes de Mississauga et Chippewa. Procédons maintenant à la présentation des juges pour les finales de ce soir. Now introducing our officials for this evening's finals session. For the men's events referee, juge arbitre pour les épreuves masculines, Barry Hanna. Notre juge arbitre pour les épreuves féminines, referee for women's events, Daryl Martin. For our starters, pour nos juges de départ pour les épreuves masculines, for our men's events, Julie Gay. Et notre juge de départ pour les épreuves féminines, our starter for women's events, Jeff Holmes.
At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please rise if you are able to join Jeff Holmes in the singing of our national anthem.
On vous invite maintenant à vous lever, si vous pouvez, pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national par Jeff Holmes.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, car t'embrasser, porter le pays, et c'est porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Jeff Holmes with our anthem this evening.
Welcome to night 2 of the Olympic and Paralympic swimming trials. My name is Sanjune Manville and I will be your on-deck host for the evening. We had some great swims yesterday and I have a feeling that tonight is going to be as exciting. But the swimmers will need your energy to bring the energy level up, so be ready to cheer. All right, are you ready to start?
And the first event in the pool, the 400-meter individual medley men's final. This is the Alex Bauman event from way back in 1984. He ruled this event, was a gold medalist in LA in '84. They'll start with butterfly, then go backstroke, then go breaststroke, and then finish strong with the freestyle. And the Olympic qualifying time to beat 4:12.50.
Edward Rousseau will have lane number 9. There'll be 10 swimmers in this final. He's from Montreal, specializes also in open water swimming. Gonzalez will have lane 0, 18 years of age, from Montreal. They're teammates, these guys, in lane 9 and lane 0. Jacob Gallant, Fredericton, New Brunswick, the national youth sport champion in this event, the 400 IM, the last 3 years in a row. Carter Sheffield from Brantford, Ontario. Mom and Dad were both national level swimmers. He will be going to the University of Calgary in the fall. Jordy Vilches, 18 years of age, around 6'5" tall, big guy from Barrie, Ontario, was on the World Junior team for Canada last summer. Benjamin Cote from Killarney, a suburb of Calgary, was 7th at the 2023 Pan Am Games this past fall in this event, the 400 IM. Colin Gagne is your champion from the trials 3 years ago. 2021, didn't quite make the standard, didn't get to go to the Olympics, but he was your champion at those trials. Eric Brown, 21 years of age, from Montreal, Pointe Claire Aquatic Club. His first international is 2022. Lauren Winnington, many people think he can get to that standard of 4:12.50. He moved from Calgary this past fall to be in this very pool and train for the trials under coach Ryan Millett. Your fastest qualifier, a huge improvement over the last couple of years. Tristan Jankovics from the Guelph area, now training in Ohio, was on the junior Pan Pac team in 2022. Did his best time, Rob, this morning in the prelims when he didn't really have to work that hard to get into the finals. Best time by 1.5 seconds.
And he was ripping hot at 4:15.68. Really fast in the second half of the race in the breaststroke and the freestyle. Only 2 Canadians have ever won an Olympic medal in this event. We mentioned Alex Bowman, Curtis Meiden, the other one. Again, that Olympic standard time, 4 minutes, 12.50 seconds. We'll see what these athletes have in reserve. They have all raced already once today.
Just waiting for the officials to get ready. There we go. You get the big whistle. That means you're allowed to mount the blocks. There's that wedge you can see in the back of the blocks. Allows them to have a start, kind of like track and field.
And we're underway. Men's 400-meter individual medley, starting with 100 meters of butterfly in the middle of the pool. We have Eric Brown in lane 3 on this side of the yellow, then Tristan Jankovic in 4, Lauren Wigington in 5, Colin Gagne is in lane 6.
That should be where the race happens. The beauty of the individual medley, of course, is that because they change strokes, different swimmers have different strengths in different strokes, and we'll see what they have. Jankovic is also a very good backstroker. You mentioned he had a good back half this morning of the breaststroke and the freestyle. Eric Brown is a great freestyler, the man in lane number 3, so he'll try to come from behind. Wigington likes to get out pretty quick. He's in lane number 5 at this point. Wigington's best time is a couple of seconds faster than everybody in the field, so he actually should be able to take charge of this race, but we'll see.
Wigington in his personal best swim. He did the fly in 56.59. Here he comes to touch here in 56.66, so he's pretty close. And in lane 2, near the bottom of the screen, Benjamin Cote had a good fly.
And again, we'll see if these things change. All right, here comes Jankovic, the backstroker in lane number 4. He's going to make a move on Wigington at this particular point in the race.
I will say Wigington was really good in the first half, and he was almost 5 seconds slower in his freestyle leg earlier today. I would imagine he shut the engine off.
He shut the engines down big time, and you can do that in this kind of a competition. Somewhere like the Australia or the United States, where there's so much depth, you can't afford to shut it down in the morning, or you won't make the finals. Here, Canada doesn't quite have that kind of depth, so you can afford to back off a little bit. The other thing that Wigington did was he swam the 400-meter freestyle yesterday in the morning, pushed himself, but then decided, I'm not going to make the time in that. This is my best event. I'm going to rest for 24 hours and come back into this one.
As he did in the heats, Jankovic's taking over here in the backstroke leg. Let's see how much distance he can create on Lauren Wigington. And it's a half a body length now as they switch to the breaststroke.
Very interesting old-style turn by Eric Brown in lane number 3. He lost about a third of a body length, getting around so slowly compared to the other guys that do what's called a crossover turn from backstroke into breaststroke, and you get around a little bit quicker. Cote's hanging on in this third spot at this point, but here comes Colin Gagné, your winner from this trials 3 years ago, originally out of Milton, Ontario, now swimming out at Simon Fraser University. He's in lane number 6.
Yankovitz, who races for Ohio State, is really flying now. He's got another 50 meters of breaststroke to go. He's got a nice lead here. Comes in at 2:37.04 for 250 meters. Did that first breaststroke length in 35.16.
Well, the question now is, can Wigginton get back on this second 50 breaststroke? He's got the better freestyle as Wigginton. He's got to get himself in a position to challenge on the freestyle. It's only the two of them right now. Cote's down in 3rd spot. Maybe Gagné's moving up in that red cap to challenge for 3rd spot. But these are the only two guys right now that are in the race and the hunt for gold. Can they get down to around touching here at around 3:12 and get back home in a minute? 3:12 high, there's a chance.
3:14.87 for Wigginton. He's actually right on his pace when he set his personal best, but Yankovitz is really flying in lane 4.
This will be a big, big breakthrough for Jankovic. He really wasn't expected to be able to get down to that fast time, 4:12. He's on spot for it right now. The big question is, can Wigginton pick it up? You know, he's looking ahead. He's got to try to challenge. He can't back down. He may be able to get to that time.
29.78 for Yankovitz, 29.78 for Wigginton, but he's got to catch up, and I don't know if he can do it. Remember, the time to beat 4:12.50 for the Olympic qualifying standard.
It's going to be very close. 29 going that way. He's got to be 20 under 30 seconds again here. Oh, Yankovic is trying so hard. He's just throwing his arms out in front to get that momentum.
Watch the clock, looking for 4:12.5. Is he? Yes, going to get it. 4:11.74, 4:13.60 for Wigginton. Tristan Yankovitz out of the Royal City Club in Guelph, Ontario, is the winner in another personal best time, 4:11.74. That is only about 3/10 of Brian John's Canadian record.
It's a great, great swim. And again, he's a bit of a late bloomer to the sport. He wasn't really on many people's radar when he was in grade 10, and he's just getting better and better. And now he's taking a leap forward to be able to get to the top. The standards, by the way, are set at about the 20th spot in the world, roughly. It sort of ebbs and flows a little bit by the World Aquatic Body. And so you're talking, he's moved into very, very rarefied territory. This is where he made his move. Yankovic made his move in the backstroke. He was back in about 3rd spot in the 100 butterfly. In the backstroke, he moved into the lead, and he never relinquished it. You can see him here. He's almost got a half a body, 3/4 of a body length. Wigginton really very, very disappointed. Didn't make the time. He was really favored to make the time, but he could not catch Yankovic in the freestyle. You can see right now Yankovic, and right now he is tightening up. He is getting really sore. He's throwing those arms forward like he's actually lunging with a little bit of a lunge on his stroke, a little bit of a catch up, but he's able to. Look at that! Look at the pickup in the last 3 strokes. Excellent job. didn't pick up there, he might have missed the time. Nice job.
So a big win for Tristan Yankovitz in a time of 4:11.74. Wigginton second. Colin Gagné, who won this event at the last Olympic trials, was actually almost 2 seconds faster than he was then, and he comes in third.
Well, that.
Eric Brown in fourth place, just outside the podium, but it's Yankovitz on top.
Congratulations, Tristan. That was actually your best time. Your best time before tonight was 4:17. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, that means the world to me, that race. I couldn't be happier right now.
And what will be your goal for Paris this summer?
Sorry?
What will be your goal for Paris this summer?
I just want to have fun. I mean, I put all the work in. My results are finally showing. I'm so thankful to be here. And just, let's get after it.
What a great start to the evening. So you've actually nominated to be qualified for Paris, so you can sign your name on the boarding pass. Congratulations.
We expect to be the first Canadian since London in 2012 when Alec Page was in the 400 IM to be in the Olympic 400 meter IM in Paris this summer.
It's great to see some new blood as well, all right?
Event The women's 200-meter freestyle final. And this will include the Olympic bronze medalist. She's in the very top of your picture, Penny Oleksiak. And it will include the Canadian record holder in the middle of the pool, Summer McIntosh, getting a challenge from Mary Sophie Harvey. Let's meet all the athletes here in this women's 200-meter freestyle final.
Kat Savard was the leadoff in this relay at the Olympic Games when they won a medal in 2016. She's 30 years of age, 15 years on the national team, a three-time Olympian. And I don't think there's a person who's a fan of swimming that doesn't know Penny Oleksiak's name. Oleksiak barely qualified down in lane number 0. Brooklyn Douthright from Moncton, New Brunswick, trains down in Tennessee. Her first senior team was last year. Rebecca Smith was on the relays that won a medal, the 4x1 sprint relay at the last Olympic Games. She was identified as a star at 14, moved from Red Deer to Toronto to get her Olympic dream, and she did. Emma Cronin, 20 years of age, from Edmonton, now training at the Vancouver National Center. Burst onto the scene to make her mark. And in lane number 6, you got Ella Jansen from Burlington, 18 years of age. Now training in this very pool at the National Center. Julie Brasseau, 18 years of age, out in Nepean, a suburb of Ottawa. Her coach, Scott Faithful, won 7 medals in 2023 at the World Juniors. Mary Sophie Harvey, we've talked a lot about this woman, how she's had an up and down career, and she's on a big up right now, 24 years of age, started in Trois-Rivières. Summer McIntosh has only had an up career. She's just up, up, up. Every time you see her in the water, she does marvelous things. Originally out of Toronto, now living in Sarasota. The reason they moved down to Sarasota was Toronto was in the middle of a second shutdown during COVID, and they needed a place to train, and they found a great coach in Brett Arquet, and they're staying down there now to train.
Summer McIntosh, bronze in this event at last year's World Championships behind a couple of Aussies. Penny Oleksiak, bronze in this event at the Tokyo Olympic Games.
There's Penny.
Mary Sophie Harvey, gold last year at the Pan American Games in this event. We told you it was a stacked field. And don't forget about Julie Brasseau in lane 3. And we're underway. The women's 200-meter freestyle final. Penny Oleksiak is at the bottom of your screen in lane 0 in the middle of the pool. Summer McIntosh is in lane 4, and it looks like she might have the edge already.
She's going out quick. This is how Summer likes to swim. This is how like she swims in 200. She even likes to swim the 400. We saw her go out fast. The interesting part is that Summer is probably not going to swim this event at the Olympic Games because it conflicts with one of her other events. So this is basically to get her name up there for the relay.
Summer McIntosh 3/10 faster than she set her Canadian record by her in 26:73 for 50. Rebecca Smith is having a nice swim so far, and she is in lane 1, just beside Oleksiak.
You've got the veterans, 1, 2, 3, the 3 women that were on the relay in Tokyo. Summer McIntosh, then down in lane 0, Penny Oleksiak, and right next to her, Rebecca Smith. Those are the 3 of the 4 that swam in Tokyo.
28:70 for McIntosh.
Watch lane number 5 now. She's back in about 5th spot. Mary Sophie Harvey doesn't even look like she's in the race. She will come storming back if she does her normal strategy in this race.
Watch the clock for Summer McIntosh. When she set her Canadian record, she did 150 and 124.77. She's about to touch the wall here in 124.81, so 400ths off that time. Let's see if she can get it back, and let's see who's going to get second, third, and 4th. It is McIntosh leading Mary Sophie Harvey. Penny Oleksiak is back in 6th or 7th. It is Summer McIntosh with a body length lead. Here comes Mary Sophie Harvey. Those two have separated themselves from the pack. Who's going to get 3rd? But first is going to go to McIntosh at 153.69. 55.44 for Mary Sophie Harvey. And that is inside the Olympic qualifying standard for her as well. So you're looking at 2 of the Canadians who should be in the pool for the 200 in Paris.
Third spot was Julie Brassot. Great swim for her, best time. And in fourth spot, Sienna Angrove, only 17 years of age, bit of a newcomer. Kamloops BC, but trains with this woman. She moved down to Sarasota, and she trains with Summer. There they go. There's Julie Brassot on the left. She looks so good in qualifying. But she just missed that standard. So Summer doesn't swim this race at the Olympics because it conflicts with another event. Brassot probably won't be able to enter it. She didn't quite make that standard, but she's going to go for the relay, that's for sure. This is a world-class swim by Summer McIntosh. We've said that she's so talented, she does so many good events, and the problem is some of them conflict with her other good events, so she can't swim them. So I doubt she'll be swimming this event at the Olympic Games.
That is the fastest time in the world this year in the women's 200-meter freestyle, 1:53.69 for Summer McIntosh. She takes her second gold here at the Canadian Olympic Trials.
There you can see it. You can see Brassot third, all right, out of Ottawa, Emma Cronin, then down near the bottom, Penelope, i.e. Penny Alexiak, tried for it. She went out after it for the first 100, but I just don't think she has the training behind her to be able to come back and match these women down in 1:57. Penny's best time is much, much faster than that, but she's just not quite ready to do it. And the other veteran, Kat Savard, was on the relays in the past. She's also not going to make it. Rebecca Smith was also on that relay. So three big veterans, unfortunately for them, finished 8th, 9th, and 10th. So you got McIntosh, you got Mary Zophie, and then Brassot and O'Cronin are going to make the Olympic team because of the relay.
So an impressive swim and some Olympic qualifying times reached here in Toronto.
Congratulations, ladies. You're the 4 swimmers who will be considered for nomination to the Olympic team for the 4x2 relay. Congratulations. Emma, your first Olympic team. How special is that?
So special. I don't think it's going to sink in for a while. It's pretty cool.
And Julie, also your first Olympic team before the race.
I was pretty confident, but I'm just really excited to get to go. So,
Mary, second day, second spot on the Olympic team. I mean, how crazy is that?
It means the world. I knew after yesterday that I had a good swim in me for today, so I just had to recover and not think too much and celebrate too much. But now I can finally chill and be happy with my last 2 days. Yeah.
And Emma, how do you feel about making the Olympic team with these girls on the relay?
It means the world. I mean, every time we get to add new members to Team Canada, it's a great feeling, and I'm so excited to be on this crazy ride alongside of them.
And you also have a busy week coming up, so have a good rest. You girls rest. Again, congratulations, and you've both signed your name on the boarding pass already, so congrats again.
Calm, cool, and collected Summer McIntosh after swimming the fastest time in the world this year in the 200-meter freestyle. She has punched her ticket to Paris already, Byron. Whether she swims this event or not, we don't know, but
I like the way at the end there she went up and hugged the girls that are going to be on that relay with her.
Men's 100-meter backstroke, the next event in the pool. We mentioned earlier the Alex Bauman event. This is the Mark Tewksbury event in my mind.
1992, very interesting, great swims. We've got 10 guys in this field. Benjamin Winterborn out of Kingston, Ontario. He actually took a gap year this year, and he's been training here at this National Center in the Academy under Coach Don Burton. Matthew Driscoll will have lane number 0, and the reason it's 0 is that there are 10 lanes, and they go from 0 to 9, actually. Parker DeHaze, youngster, 16 years of age only, made the big final. Good for him, out of Calgary. His teammate is Cole Pratt, which we'll hear from in just a minute. Andrew Herman, attends school at the University of Toronto. His mother, Moitza Cater, a lot of swimmers will remember that name. She was at the Olympics in 1988 for Canada in the 200-meter butterfly. Paul Dardis from Calgary, 17 years of age, will have lane number 7. He was a World Junior finalist in the freestyle. There's Cole Pratt, young Mr. DeHaze's teammate at Cascade under Dave Johnson. Very strong program. Cole Pratt was second in this event 3 years ago at the Olympic trials. Javi Acevedo won this event at the Olympic trials 8 years ago, set a World Junior standard, and he actually has been focusing more on the freestyle lately, so now he's coming back into the backstroke. Ravin Doman, born in Johannesburg, South Africa, moved to Australia, moved to Canada when he was age 10, and now he's swimming for Canada. Aiden Norman, quite a family of swimming. His two sisters and him all swim at the University of Calgary Swim Club. His dad's the president of the club, so it's a swimming family. Blake Turney, very close to that time standard to qualify for the Olympic Games in the preliminaries. He's out of Saskatoon, but he's a science major, attends the University of British Columbia. He won 5 medals at the Pan Am Games that were held in the fall in South America.
As did Javi Azevedo, but he won them all in the relays. He is Mr. Relay.
Yes, Javi's now much more of a freestyler and he's a backstroker, but he'd like to be able to get back into the Olympics in this event, the 100-meter backstroke. There's Aiden Norman right there. Tall drink of water, that's for sure.
So Tierney had the fastest qualifying time, the only one under 54 seconds, 53.93. The Olympic qualifying time, keep this in mind, 53.74. We've got 5 teenagers in the field. The oldest swimmer is Javier Azevedo from Ajax, just down the road. He is in lane 6. Lane 0, bottom of your screen. Lane 9, top of your screen. And we're underway, men's 100-meter backstroke. 2 lengths of the pool, middle of the pool. Rabin Doman in lane 3, then the yellow lanes. Blake Tierney in 4, the Saskatoon Goldfin. Aiden Norman in 5, Javi Azevedo in lane 6.
Javi's going for it. He had a great start. He's way out in front at this particular point. He's in a good position. The question is, some of these other guys are 200-meter backstrokers, so they're going to have a good second length in this 100-meter because they're used to going even further.
Tierney flips first at 25.89.
Look at them underwater. They can go up to 15 meters. You can see those black markers on the lane line. This looks like a 2-horse race to try to get to that standard of 53.74. The athletes now have to keep their turnover going. They're going to come to those backstroke flags and know they have 5 meters.
Azevedo is challenging. Azevedo really challenging Blake Tierney. Who's going to get there? Who's going to touch? It is Tierney in 53.48. Yes, he's done it. Oh.
Both of them. You got both guys making it, Tierney and Acevedo. The standard was 53.74. You got both guys made it. Aiden Norman put in a late charge, couldn't quite get there, get to the standard or outtouch Acevedo. That's been a long road back for Javi Acevedo. He only made the team in Tokyo as a relay alternate. Was able to swim 1 relay there, couldn't make it in the backstroke. We said before, he won this event 8 years ago, was the world junior record holder. He finally gets back and beats that time from so long ago. Great swim for Javi Azevedo. Very popular man on the national team is Javi. And this will be a great breakthrough for Blake Tierney to be able to win this and be able to book his ticket out of Saskatoon.
3 Canadians under 54 seconds, including the winning time for Blake Tierney at 53.48. That's a personal best for him. That is the Olympic qualifying standard. And the pace was set by the veteran Javi Azevedo, who also is under the Olympic time.
The underwater work is so now critical in every stroke, but more so in backstroke. You can go up to 15 meters underwater, and Azevedo used every bit of that 15 meters on the start and on the turn, and then stroking right to the end. You got a good shot of Blake Tierney. This actually looks like it's going into the turn, around, over, push off. There you go. Now underwater, you can see up there, you can see Acevedo, how good he is, how flexible you must be through your hips. And then just go, go, go all the way to the end. You can see right in the middle, Aiden Norman putting on a push. A little bit too late, though, to catch the 2 leaders that were leading the entire way. Keep up the turnover all the way and reach. Bingo, under the standard.
0.07 of a second separate Tierney and Azevedo, but both reaching the Olympic qualifying time. That is a huge clutch performance for both. Let's hear from our Olympic qualifiers.
Guys, you've both qualified to be nominated in the 100 back. How special is that for you, Javi?
Pretty cool, right? We're trying to continue this backstroke legacy we have in Canada. The girls have been doing it for years. Look at us now, right? Last time we had Marcus and Nicole, and now it's me and Blake here, so yeah, it's awesome.
And it's your third Olympic team. I mean, what went through your mind during those last 15 meters?
Oh my God, I had to get there. I just had to, like, it hurt. If anyone swims backstroke here, you know how much it hurts. So I had to get there, and it's worth it.
Blake, congratulations, your first Olympic team. How do you feel right now?
I don't know, I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Do you have anybody in the crowd cheering for you tonight?
Yeah, I got my parents up there. Yeah.
Well, congratulations again, guys. You can both sign your name on the boarding pass.
Personal best times for both, Olympic qualifying times for both Blake Tierney and Javier Azevedo. Nicely done.
Javi wants to be at the top.
Love that.
Javi will be trying to make the team in the relays as well later, the freestyle relays, and he's a very integral member of those. This is a very exciting race, the women's 100-meter breaststroke. It's a critical race. Canada has been a little weak in the breaststrokes for the last few years, but you need a breaststroker on the medley relay, and with the fastest butterflyer, one of the fastest butterflyers in the world, freestylers and backstrokers, the breaststroke is key. One of these women is going to get onto that relay by winning this event here. Nina Kucheran, 23 years of age, from Sudbury, just finishing up a master's degree in university. She won a medal at the World Student Games in 2019 for Canada on the relay. Ashley McMillan out of Penticton, BC, now training here at the National Centre in Toronto. Catherine Avanov from London, Ontario, was 7th at the Olympic trials 3 years ago. Avery Wiseman was 4th at the Olympic trials 3 years ago. She's out of Edmonton, was on the World Junior team. Katya Pavicevic will have lane number 7. She's 23 years of age, from Toronto. Said, I was a tennis player when I was young, but swimming took over. Alexandre Lepage is your world junior champion. Fastest 18 and under swimmer in the world. 100 and 200 meter breaststroke at the World Championships last year. Sydney Pickram, two-time Olympian, a veteran, raised in Dunedin, Florida, where the Blue Jays play winter ball. Now lives in Texas. Shona Branton, what a find, 21 years of age, a small town of 1,000 people. Port Lambton is where she grew up. Voted the U Sports Outstanding Female Swimmer of the Year this year. Kelsey Waugh just missed the Olympic team in 2016, was a standout breaststroker 2021, and now trying to make her second Olympic team. Sophie Angus out of Connecticut, a dual citizen. 2022 at a very disappointing Commonwealth Games, was going to quit. She was talked out of it by the coach Ryan Millett here at the National Center. Said, come and swim, give it another shot. She did. She's now won a medal at the World Championships and the Pan Am Games, and she's on form to challenge to get onto her first Olympic team. She's 25 years of age, is Sophie.
Trying to win her 3rd straight Canadian title is Sophie Angus.
There's Kelsey Waugh out of University of Manitoba, Athlete of the Year there. Longtime coach Vlaston Melcherney, a former national team member himself. Only one teenager in this field. Very surprising, actually. Alex Lepage in lane number 2.
Well, we mentioned 5 swimmers all in the range of the Olympic qualifying time. And that starts with Alexandre Lepage in 2, Branton, and we're underway. And the women's 100-meter breaststroke. Branton in 3, Angus in 4, Waugh in 5, and Pickram is in 6.
Well, the interesting part is that they've been working on Shona Branton's dive in lane number 3, and yet she still comes up about a half a body length behind, but she's got the most power in the stroke, so we'll see if she can catch all the rest of the athletes in the field.
Sophie Angus was the fastest 50 this morning in 31.55. Let's see where they are. We thought they'd be close. They're pretty close. It is Pickram first in 31.46.
Followed by Branton, and then you've got the 2 leaders in 4 and 5, Angus and Waugh. Now the question is, who's got enough in the tank? Who's got the arm pull and who's got the kick to drive them to the wall? And the focus to not panic and look around and be worried. Pickram's got the experience, and she's pulling ahead of the rest of them right now. Here comes Kelsey Waugh in the middle, and Sophie Angus. Wow, we've got a race here.
Oh my goodness, do we ever? Kelsey Waugh trying to challenge. Pickram is on her right. On the left is Angus. We knew it would be tight. Here they come to the wall. And it is Angus who wins for the 3rd straight year. 1:06.96. is the winning time, so that is just outside the Olympic qualifying time. 107 flat is the time for Kelsey Waugh, and Pickram is third in 107.27.
Well, you can see the disappointment there on Kelsey Waugh. There she is on the right. She can't believe the time. She thought she had it. She was in a position to try to challenge for it. Missed the time of 106.79. Angus missed the time, but the winner gets to go because Canada needs a breaststroker for the medley relay. So a little disappointing for a couple of these women because they weren't able to get back to their best times, and one or two of them could have actually made the team if they did their best time. But the point is, it was a great race, and Angus rose to the challenge. And again, big smile, because this is a woman that was so disappointed in 2022 with her performances that she was going to quit. And she stayed in it, and now she's rewarded with an Olympic berth. Into the wall right now. Brandon made a really good move and come up basically even with Pickram as they touch the wall. Around very quickly. Better underwater work for the last woman there. And Pickram had the lead, and now right here at the top of those four, Pickram's starting to fade, and Shauna Brandon just ran out of space, couldn't catch those two in the middle, and you've got Angus just out touching Kelsey Waugh, the veteran.
So close. Waugh looked like she might have had it, but instead it is Sophie Angus, the Canadian title.
Congratulations, Sophie, national champion, and you put yourself in a position to be considered for the medley relay. How do you feel right now?
I'm pretty excited. Yeah, no more words than that.
You actually train here. How does it feel to actually do Olympic trial in your own pool?
It's pretty cool to have the stands packed like this. It was so loud, I could hear everyone cheering us on, and yeah, it's really cool to do it at home.
Nice, and what do you have planned for the rest of the week?
A few days off and then a 200 breaststroke.
All right, well, good luck for that, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Congrats again.
Next event in the pool, the women's para 100-meter breaststroke final. And we've got 6 athletes. Check that, 7 athletes and several different Paralympic disability categories, classifications. We'll go through them as we go here.
Here's your first one for lane number 1, Ella Trucker. Mount Allison University, she'll have lane number 1. She is the classification of 5, SB5. Ruby Stevens, also an SB5. She's from Royal City Aquatics, which is in the city of Guelph.
So those two will be racing each other and the clock.
That's, yep, and their bookends in the outside lanes. Abby Tripp, SB7 from Kingston, now training Quebec City, a 2-time Olympian, will have lane number 2. Emma Van Dyke will be in lane number 6, a 14. She's at Brock University is where she trains, which is in St. Catharines. She was 5th in the 100 fly. Tess Rutliff, the veteran, won a silver medal in this very event in the Rio, that's 2016 Paralympics. She was injured and couldn't go to the 2021 games in Tokyo. Katarina Roxon, the veteran, 3-time Olympian. Her dad is her coach. She won a gold medal in Rio in this very event, and she was 4th in Tokyo. Maxine Levat will have the middle lane, lane number 4. She's an SB13 from the University of Manitoba. She just saw her fellow student, Kelsey Waugh, in the 100-meter breaststroke. Just missed that Olympic qualifying time.
So we got a couple of Canadian record holders in the race, Tess Rutliff and Katarina Roxon. Roxon is an SB8. She was a bronze medalist in that category at last year's World Championships in Manchester. We've got 3 actually athletes who were medalists at the World Championships in this discipline last year. So the SB5 swimmers on the either side, Tucker and Stevens, are trying to get a qualifying time of 2:01.79. The SB7 swimmers, 1:43.34. That is Tess Rutliff. SB8 is Roxanne. She's going for 128.79. And then SB13 is Maxine Lavitt. The time there is 123.39. And then Emma Van Dyke, the 21-year-old of the Brock Niagara Aquatics, is an SB14. She needs to get 123.30 to be considered. And right now, the leader in lane 4 is Maxine Lavitt. Right on her shoulder is Katarina Roxon out of Kippens, Newfoundland. They named a stretch of the highway after her in Kippens.
Excellent, excellent. And as we said, her dad is her coach. He's been her coach her entire life. Pretty good battle, actually, between these two in lane number 4 and 5, Levitt and Roxon.
So Roxon, the 4-time Paralympian, coming up on the shoulder of Lavitt, and it looks like she might have slightly edged ahead. Those two in a fight here. Again, Roxon trying to get a time of 128.79, and she's going to get it, Byron. She's going to get it by a fair distance. She'll be second in this race in 125.79. The winning time, actually, winning time is Roxon. She outreaches Lavitt. And it's 125.71 for Roxon, 125.79 for Lavitt. And then in third place, we'll try to keep all this straight for you, is lane 3. That is Tess Rutleff, who was the gold medalist in this race at last year's World Championships in the S7 category, SB7, and she needed a time of 143, and she is easily in it at 130.47. And actually, Byron, that is a new Canadian record for Tess Rutleff.
So when you have these multiple categories, it is, as Rob was trying to do, very complicated and very difficult to figure out who is actually making the standard. But we do have a couple records. We do have a couple women that have qualified in this exact race, Katina Roxon and Tess Rutleff. Rutleff qualified yesterday, actually, in the butterfly, so she's already in there for the nomination. The only reason it can't be guaranteed is that there's a limit on the number of people that you can qualify. It's 15 on the women's side for Canada. So if there happen to be more than 15, they'd have to start to re-rank them all. So right now they're actually in the hunt, but you know, when you're going this fast, it's a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to be one of those 15. And Roxanne with a great battle, again, out of Newfoundland, an SB8, and she gets to the wall hundredths ahead of Maxine Levitt. But Maxine Levitt, because she's in a higher category, SB13, the standards are more difficult, and Levitt did not make the standard to get named to the Paralympic group.
Congratulations, Tess. That's actually the second time you get your qualifying time. You got one yesterday and another one today. How do you feel right now?
I'm ecstatic. I mean, that's the best time, and it's exactly what we're looking for in this meet, and so I'm really happy.
And what will we be working on in the next few months leading up to Paris?
Oh, we still always have work to do. I mean, just getting below that 30 would be great.
Well, congratulations. So you get a standby pass because the official team is going to be announced on Sunday, but congratulations again. We need the standby pass.
Congratulations to Tess Rutleff, a new Canadian record in the SB7 100 breaststroke.
So the pride of Caledon, Ontario, who was a gold medalist at World Championships last year, breaks her own best ever time. And that sets the stage for our final medal event. This will be the men's para 100-meter breaststroke with 4 swimmers in 3 different categories.
Charles Gamichelli will have lane number 6. He's from what's called the Golden Horseshoe Aquatic Club, which is based in Hamilton. He won the 50-meter butterfly in his category yesterday. Fernando Liu, best time yesterday in the 100-meter butterfly, just missed the Paralympic qualifying time. He's out of Langley, BC. James LaRue, 26 years of age, 2-time Paralympian. He's out of the University of Laval, 6th in Tokyo in this event, and 5th last year at the World Championships. 10 years on the national team. Nicholas Bennett, the qualifying time is 107. He went 104 in the morning, so it's looking pretty good for Nicholas Bennett. And Nicholas is coached by his sister, Haley.
Yeah, Nicholas from Parksville, BC, Vancouver Island, but lives and trains in Red Deer, Alberta, the Red Deer Catalina Swim Club. Shout out to them, of course. He was only 2/100ths off his Canadian record in the morning swim. So here we go. The SB7s are going for 1:14.84. That's Gimicelli. However, he is actually having to swim up a category, Byron. We were talking about this earlier today with Benoit Guat. And so, unfortunately, there's no SB7 in this race for Paris. It's a numbers situation. So here we go with the men's para 100-meter breaststroke, 2 lengths to the pool. Fernando Liu is in 3, Nicholas Bennett is in 4, James Leroux in 5, Charles Gimicelli is in lane 6.
There's no question that Nicholas Bennett's best time is way, way much better than the other athletes. He's going to win this by a whole half of the pool, a third of the pool or whatever. But the point is, his time is also very fast. He's got to get a fast time. He's way under that standard, and he's going out very quick. 29.6 is incredibly fast going down in the first 50 meters. I mean, he should have right on his best time of 104, and which is way under the 107. The other athletes, the times to make it are much, much slower, and they're actually going to be reasonably within challenging distance.
So the 2 S14s on either side of Bennett, or S9s rather, on either side of Bennett are looking at a minute 12.19. But here we go with Nicholas Bennett coming to the wall. Remember, he went 104 this morning, and he goes 103.71, a new personal best, new Canadian record. Here comes second place Leroux in 112.43. That is just a shade, painfully a shade off of that Paralympic qualifying time of 112.19. And then the final swimmer, Charles Gimicelli, again, he was in the situation of he's an SB7, but he has to race up a class, needed 114.8, and he goes 123. That was always going to be a tough one.
Well, Nicholas Bennett's been on a good run lately. At the World Championships last year, he won 2 gold and he won a silver actually in this very event, the 100-meter breaststroke. But now he's going even faster, so, you know, maybe that gold medal is in the offing when he gets to the Paralympics. The unfortunate part is that Fernando Liu, who's behind, this is your man right here. This is your winner, Nicholas Bennett, and the man that beat his best time, set a new Canadian record, and is poised to challenge for medals at the Paralympics. But then in lane number 3, down in the red cap there, Fernando Liu just missed the qualifying time yesterday, and he just missed it today.
New Canadian record time for Nicholas Bennett.
Nick, a Canadian record and your second Paralympic team because you've achieved the qualifying time. How do you feel right now?
I feel absolutely ecstatic. I might not look great, but it's sorry, it's hard to speak right now. But it's this is my first actual Olympic trials, so it's just amazing just to be here for the first time.
That's amazing. And what will you be working on during the next few months leading up to Paris?
Well, we'll just iron around the kinks in the last 10 meters and see if we can secure a medal for Canada for Paris.
Well, we wish all the best for you. So you get a standby pass from Air Canada, and the official team is going to be announced on Sunday. So congratulations again.
So all the athletes who were essentially in podium spots are going to be stepping onto the symbolic podium in mere moments, beginning with the men's 400-meter individual medley, which is how our night of fireworks began, with an Olympic qualifying time being registered by Tristan Yankovitz and a dynamite swim for the second time today. and he's got reason to celebrate his 4:11.74 swim. He'll be looking to challenge the likes of Leon Marchand, the great French swimmer, in Paris this summer.
I don't know if there's going to be too many people challenging Marchand. He broke the immortal record, as many people called it. Michael Phelps's 400-meter individual medley record did Marchand, and I mean, talk about pressure. And all the swimmers have field pressure. They're trying to make the Olympic team and everything. Think about Leon Marchand.
Yes.
He's the world record holder. He's swimming in his hometown in Paris, in France, the national hero, and he's got to win. And that, to me, is pressure.
It reminds me of the Tokyo Olympic Games outdoors in the stadium. Kathy Freeman had to win the 400-meter in the track and field events. Australian, yeah. And this 100,000 people in the stadium, and basically silver wasn't going to be okay. I mean, it would have, but she came through with all that pressure.
Yeah. So you've got that.
That's right. That'll be like that for Leon Marchand. You're absolutely right.
And it's the opening night. You know, it's the first night of the game. So.
But if he does it, then it's like everything all the pressure drops off in a way for him.
Well, and think about this while we're waiting for the medal ceremonies, is that Marchand is also very good in the 200-meter individual medley and the 200-meter butterfly, I should say, and the 200-meter breaststroke. They were going to be back-to-back, and the powers that to be were lobbying, and they got them moved an extra 40 minutes apart. So one's at the front, one's at the back end. So in theory now, young Mr. Marchand can do both events in one evening and try to win 2 gold medals instead of 1.
Not the first time something like that has ever happened.
It's pretty rare, to be honest, but it certainly was. It's what you want. You want the best athlete to be in the pool. And you know, we talked earlier tonight the fact that Summer McIntosh has 6 events that she could swim at the Olympic Games and medal probably in all 6 of them, and yet she's not going to do that because you're going to run out of gas in that method. And one of the great examples of that was the superstar Swedish swimmer Sarah Sjöström, and because she was by far the best swimmer they had in Sweden, they put her in all 3 of the relays. They put her in 5 different individual events, and she was the best 50-meter freestyler in the world. But it's on the last day of the Olympic Games, the swimming games, and by the time she got there, she was toast. She actually didn't even make the final, and she should have actually won the gold medal. Certainly challenged for the gold medal, maybe even the silver medalist. But so after that Olympics, she said, "I'm not doing that again."
Yeah,
you know?
she took control.
She took control of her own fate, which was important. The coaches really made a error. They made a mistake, and you know, having her on the relay so they could squeak in to finish 7th place in the world, you don't do that when you're throwing away medals, right, from a superstar like Sarah Sjöström.
And here we go with our medal ceremony on night 2 of competition.
Chef de mission pour l'équipe Canada, Paris 2024, Jeux Olympiques. Medals will be presented by Bernie Survin, champion, Olympic champion of the 4x1 relay in Atlanta in 1996, and chef de mission for Team Canada at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
Bronze medalist,
la médaille de bronze,
from the Langley Olympian Swim Club, Colin Gagne. Silver medalist,
la médaille d'argent,
from the High Performance Center, Ontario, Lauren Wigington. Gold medalist,
la médaille d'or,
finishing at a time under the Olympic qualifying selection time, from Royal City Aquatics, Tristan Jankovic. Congratulations to our medalists in the men's 400 individual medley.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
It's always nice to have a breakthrough at Olympic trials, and you've got one right here in this first event this evening, the 400M. Tristan Jankovic winning an upset over Lauren Wigington. Lauren Wigington's going to have a good career ahead of him. He's very young. You can see he's very small. He's going to grow a little bit, get stronger and bigger, and I'm sure he'll be making future international teams. Devastated tonight for sure, but he'll be around, I'm sure, in the future. But the man that's now already on scene is Tristan Jankovic.
For the women's 200 free.
come the women for the 200-meter free, and this is a little bit of the changing of the guard. The three of the women that have been on the relay for a long time did not make this podium and did not make the team in this event. We've got some new blood here. That's one of them right there, Julie Brasseau.
Well, she's a Barracuda. That's what I love.
Silver medalist and under the Olympic qualifying standard in
Sharks and Barracudas.
La médaille d'argent se qualifie pour le 200 mètres libre du Club aquatique Montréal. Marie-Sophie Harvey.
Gold medalist.
Et la médaille d'or.
And under the Olympic qualifying standard, adding another event in the 200 freestyle, Summer McIntosh.
There's Mama Jill right there cheering her daughter Summer. And it just seems like a walk in the park, and yet you turn around and you look at the rankings, and it's the fastest time done in the world this year. I mean, that's what Summer McIntosh is all about. The beauty here is Mary-Sophie Harvey on the left with only a relay alternate, only swam in the preliminaries at the Tokyo Olympic Games. She's now one of the mainstays. She's improved so much. And Julie Brasseau's got a great career ahead of her. That was a great swim for her. There's Mama Jill. And Julie Brasseau, Scott Faithful, her coach, has done a great job. And you need youngsters like that to come through, keep this relay challenging the best in the world. Should mention the woman that finished fourth in that race was Emma Cronin out of Edmonton, now training in the National Center. She will be on that relay, named to the team, I'm sure. There are rules about how many alternates for relay, or how many people for relays you can take, so they really have to wait till Sunday to see if there's maybe too many people that have made the relays. But right now it looks pretty promising for Emma Cronin, who 2019 was burst onto the national scene. And in her own words, I had a couple of pretty difficult years, but now I've made it through the other end, and she certainly has. This was one of the more exciting races of the night, the men's 100 backstroke.
Oh, yes. Javier Azevedo took it out really quick and then hung tough to the very, very end. The last few strokes for him, he basically said he was in pain. Also under 54 was Aidan Norman at the University of Calgary, so we had 3 swimmers under 54 seconds.
Also under the Olympic qualifying standard in the men's 100 backstroke from the Ajax Aquatic Club at High Performance Center, Ontario, Javier Acevedo.
He'll be ecstatic. He's got another individual swim. As I mentioned, he had an individual swim in 2016 in Rio, but was only a relay man 3 years ago. So now he's back in an individual event. First Olympic team for Blake Tierney. Saskatoon native. Goes to school at the University of British Columbia. Under the standard, 2 guys. The men's team hasn't had a lot of individual swims in the last few Olympics, but they're getting better and better, building themselves up. And watch for Aidan Norman in the future too. He's coming. He's young. He may be taller, but he's young.
Accueillons maintenant le médaillé du 100 mètres brasse para-féminin. Let's now welcome our medalists for the women, women's 100 breaststroke.
Bronze medalist, the Toronto Swim Club, Sydney Pickram.
So the women's 100-meter breaststroke now. Sydney Pickram just finds ways to get in contention.
Silver medalist,
living these days in Texas.
University of Manitoba, Kelsey Wog.
Kelsey's trying to smile, but she's pretty disappointed. The good news for Kelsey is she's not known as a 100-meter breaststroker. She's a 200-meter breaststroker, and that's still to come, so she's still got a shot. This woman is a 100-meter breaststroker, and she showed everybody today. As we said, almost quit, came back, 25 years of age. She's getting to go to her first Olympic Games. Sophie Angus.
Congratulations to our medalists in the women's 100 breaststroke.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
26 years of age, 25 and 25. Definitely a veteran field in the women's breaststroke. A lot of coaches will say if you've got the knees, you can do breaststroke forever. It's a very difficult stroke to master, and your knees have got to be very strong and very flexible, and these women have it. Just waiting for the next breaststroke, the women's para.
Event that saw a Canadian record set, that saw several people reach the Paris para qualifying standards. Let's step aside here.
100 breaststroke para. Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze. Acclimatation Région de Québec. Abby Tripp.
Silver medalist from the Aqua Aces, Katarina Roxon. And gold medalist from Université Laval, Tess Rutliff.
Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 100 brasses para masculin. Let's now welcome our medalists for the men's Paralympic 100 breaststroke. Les médailles seront présentées par Suzanne Pollens, directrice générale de Natation Canada. Medals will be presented by Suzanne Pollens, Swimming Canada's Chief Executive Officer.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
Langley Olympians, Fernando Liu. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent. Du Rouge à l'Université Laval, James Leroux.
Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
With a new Canadian record for the Red Deer Catalinas, Nicholas Bennett. Congratulations to our medalists in the men's para 100 breaststroke.
Félicitations à nos médaillés. Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 400 livres junior masculin. Let's now welcome our medalists for the junior men's 400 free.
This is one of our first junior medal ceremonies for events contested last night. Your bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
From the Point Claire Swim Club, Zachary Parise. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
University of Calgary, Leon Kim. Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
Ethan Eck. Congratulations to our medalists in the junior 400 freestyle.
Félicitations à nos médaillés. Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 400 livres féminin junior. Let's now welcome our medalists for the junior women's 400 free.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
Langley Olympians, Julia Stranowska. Silver medalist from the Pien Canada Barracudas, Julie Brousseau. Your junior champion in the 400 free, Summer McIntosh. Congratulations to our medalists in the junior women's 400 freestyle.
Félicitations à nos médaillés. Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 100 mètres pavillon féminin junior. Let's now welcome our medalists for junior women's 100-meter butterfly.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
From Point Claire Swim Club, Ashlyn Massey. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
From Manta, Mia West. Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
From the Langley Olympians, Leilani Fak. Congratulations to our junior medalists in the 100 butterfly.
Félicitations à nos médaillés. Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 100 brasses masculin junior. Let's now welcome our medalists for junior men's 100 breaststroke.
bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze.
University of Calgary Swim Club, Nicholas Duncan. Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
Markham Aquatic Club, Kiet Kong. Gold medalist.
La médaille d'or.
Your junior champion, the Grand Prairie Piranhas, Oliver Dawson. Congratulations to our junior medalists in the 100 breaststroke.
Félicitations à nos médaillés. Accueillons maintenant nos médaillés du 100 mètres brasse para féminin. Let's now welcome our medalists for Para Women's 100 breaststroke.
Bronze medalist.
La médaille de bronze de natation Région de Québec, Abby Tripp.
Silver medalist.
La médaille d'argent.
The Aquatic Aces, Katarina Roxon. Gold medalist in a new Canadian record time.
La médaille d'or avec un nouveau record para-canadien. Le rouge et or de Marcel Laval, Tess Rutland.
Congratulations to our medalists in the women's para 100 breaststroke.
Félicitations à nos médaillés.
Still more swimming to come here tonight. Please stay in your seats for the junior and B finals. And we'll also have some great prize giveaways from Speedo and Aeroplan.
Restez parmi nous, il reste plusieurs épreuves encore dans les finales juniors et les finales B. Il y aura aussi de superbes prix offerts par Speedo et Aéroplan.
We now move into our B final session. Coming up first will be the B final men's 400 individual medley, followed by our junior final in that same event.
Notre première finale de B ce soir sera
Yes, they are.
400 mètres à 4 nages masculin. Finale junior.
Next event in the pool, the 400-meter IM B final. That'll be followed by the 400 IM Junior final. Byron, I have a question for you. How do you decide if an athlete should be an individual medley swimmer as opposed to an individual distance, or I mean a discipline?
Well, the individual medley is harder to do than the freestyle, arguably, because you've got to master 4 strokes, not just one. So as an athlete, you'll be watching, as a coach, you'll be watching the athletes, and if it looks like they can actually adapt and do all the 4 strokes. But if you have a real weak one, which is usually the breaststroke, then you just simply can't do the individual medley because you'll lose too much ground.
All right, here we go with this 400-meter individual medley B final. The athletes in the middle of the pool in lanes 4 and 5. Sergio Quevedo is in 4, the 18-year-old out of Neptune Natation. And Andrew G is in lane 5 out of the Pointe Claire Swim Club. They both went 4:33 and change this morning. We're underway, the B final of the men's 400-meter individual medley, starting with 100 meters of butterfly, 2 lengths of the pool.
And the way this works is that the fastest 10 athletes in the preliminaries advance to the A final, which is the medal final and the one you can make the Olympic team from, which we just recently saw. Then after that, the next 10 fastest 18 and under athletes, junior athletes, will go into the junior final. And then after that, the next 10 athletes, no matter what their age is, will go into the B final, which is what we're watching at this particular time. So it's an opportunity to give people a chance to swim again. It's no surprise that most athletes will actually swim better in the second session in the afternoon rather than 9:30 in the morning. So when they're not quite awake necessarily. So everybody likes a chance to get a second kick at it.
And it doesn't mean we don't have any juniors in this race. In fact, we have a 16-year-old Zachary McLeod way up at the top of the pool in lane 9, touching first after the butterfly. In lane 7 is Tristan Lebert in 59.61, the only one under 1 minute. Now he's into this backstroke. 2 lengths of the pool in the backstroke.
Lebert is certainly still in the lead, sitting down a little bit low, possibly in the backstroke. And the other athletes are actually starting to come back to him. It's not his strength. Be interesting to see who's got the breaststroke. As I said, the breaststroke is the key. If you can't do breaststroke, usually you don't even enter the individual medley, but if you've got a good one, then you'll be able to pull away from the rest of the field.
So Matthew Sergianis in lane 3 has taken over the lead out of University of Calgary Swim Club. So again, the 2 lanes in the middle of the pool are lanes 4 and 5. Lane 4 closest to us, and then we go by what's on either side of them. And it's lane 3, Matthew Sergianis, who is in the lead. And way up in lane 7 is Tristan Lebert, who's in second place right now.
Interesting, Lebert just took a huge look over. He touched them and rolled to his side to look over and to see where the other athletes were. Some coaches absolutely hate that. Personally, myself, I like when the athletes look around a bit. I think it motivates them and they'll swim even better. So different views by different coaches. Now here comes the breaststroke, and we'll see who's separating. And you can certainly see who definitely has the best breaststroke, and the guy who possibly boo-booed in the morning preliminaries and should have been a lot faster and could have maybe advanced into the A final, because he's got a great swim going here, Mr. Sergianis.
Well, you talked about athletes looking around. If I ask you if some male athlete on the international stage you can think of who does things like that, does a name jump to your mind? From South Africa, perhaps?
Yes, Chad Leclos. Right, he's renowned for doing that. One of the great butterflyers in the last 2 decades. He's been around for a long time. Had his breakout in 2010 at the Commonwealth Games, and he has not looked back since. He actually beat Michael Phelps at an Olympic Games. Had a little bit of tough time actually dealing with that kind of success, and now he's trying to get back onto the world scene in his early 30s, and I'm not so sure he's going to get there, Chad Leclos. The man who's going to get first to this wall here with 100 meters to go is Matthew Sergianis from the University of Calgary swim team.
He gets there in 3:27.89, and his time this morning was 4:36. So he's in great shape to better that.
Better it by a fair bit, actually. All right. Quevedo is in lane number 4, and there's an asterisk on the heat sheet here as we look for it, because foreign swimmers, no matter how fast they are not allowed to be in the A final, because that's the one, of course, that Canada's picking their Olympic team, and you don't want to bump somebody out that possibly could have a great swim from one of the outside lanes if they qualify last. So he is in the middle of the middle of the pool, I should say, lane 4. Great battle with lane number 5. Lane 4 and 5 are the ones that are ringed by those yellow lane markers, so it's easier to identify where they are, and then as it goes down towards the bottom of the camera, the lanes get lower and lower. 3, 2, 1.
Matthew Sergianis still in the lead by a body length, and here coming on strong in lane 4 is Sergio Quevedo, and Sergianis touches in 4:30.45, 6 seconds faster than he was in the morning. And in second place, Sergio Quevedo. And in third place, Andrew G.
So Cervedo has that NN, that's Neptune Natation. They train actually at the Olympic pool in Montreal, or did until 4 weeks ago when there was a fire there, because that's where the Olympic trials were supposed to be. But there was a fire in another part, not the pool, but another part of that massive, massive structure. The pool, for those that are not familiar with it, the Olympic pool in Montreal is actually underneath the baseball/football stadium. It's such a huge facility, but they couldn't guarantee that the air where all the ashes and the fire and everything was going to be clear of all the toxins, so they had to cancel the Olympic trials there, and at the last minute, this pool in Toronto was able to pick it up and move the trials here. A very big feat, but it was accomplished by a lot of people working really hard.
All right, here comes our junior final in the men's 400-meter individual medley. These are all 15, well, youngest is 15, 16, and 17-year-old swimmers. We did have a 16-year-old in that last race. How important is it, Byron, for these swimmers to get 2 swims in an event?
Well, if they have any desires, hopes, dreams of getting to a national team, be it a national junior team or sometimes even provincial teams, you're going to be picked at the finals. They're not going to be picked in the preliminaries, and all the big selection type meets have preliminaries and finals. As a matter of fact, the Olympic Games and some other games like World Championships, there's preliminaries, semifinals, and then finals. So you've got to be able to re-up your performances time and time again if you're going to be able to make these teams and get better. So no reason not to rehearse it here for these junior youngsters. So they'll get better at it when they get a little bit older, and maybe even make a world junior team and then advance to the senior team.
And we're underway in the 400-meter individual medley junior final in lane 0 at the bottom of the pool. Zachary McLeod, then Colton Cheras, then Tuja Dreyer, then Alexandre Yadajian out of Camo in Montreal. Then in lane, actually I'm going the wrong way, aren't I, Byron? I'm starting at the top of the pool. And then we get to Tanner Cole in lane 5. Harrison Smith is in lane 4. Jordan Shepard in 3. Aiden Kirk in 2. Jacques Harrison in 1. And Clovis Castongay, he's in lane 0 at the bottom of the pool. Bottom
is on the bottom. 9 is way up at the top. And at the risk of repeating myself, this is a 10-lane pool. And many people not familiar with swimming will say, well, why in the world don't they have lanes 1 through 10 instead of 0 through 9? And the reason is, up until recently, even though it was a 10-lane pool, swimming only took place in 8 lanes. So it would be the middle 8 lanes. Therefore, you'd start with 1 and finish with 8. And then when all of a sudden they decided to go to 10, the software and everything was such that they decided to just keep it at 0 down in the bottom and 9 up at the top.
So Harrison Smith was fastest through the butterfly in 58.41. He is in lane 4. He's still leading now into the backstroke.
It looks like Dreyer in lane 7. There you can see a good shot of the guys in lane 3 right now getting in the picture. But there's 4. You mentioned him, Smith. And then way up at 7, that's if you count the lanes, it's 7, 8, 9, the last 3 lanes there. And lane number 7 is Tuja Dreyer from Island Swimming. Island Swimming is in Victoria, and it takes place. Their home pool is the Commonwealth pool, built for the '94 Commonwealth Games, which of course was the home for the great Ryan Cochran, one of the great swimmers in Canadian history, several Olympic medals to his credit. And I repeat many times, Rob, that without that pool there, Ryan probably wouldn't have been swimming, and he even said that. And without this pool here in Toronto, you would also not have the stimulation that you have for a lot of the athletes coming up. And in Winnipeg, Kelsey Waugh from Winnipeg, they have the Pan Am Games pool. So there are great legacies when you build these games pools.
Right now, Dreyer in lane 7 from Island Swimming has in fact taken the lead. And in second place is Harrison Smith. Now they're into the toughest stroke of all, the breaststroke.
Jordan Shapper in lane number 3 is trying to get into the race. He's from the Nepean Canada Barracudas. He saw his teammate, Julie Brasseau, make the Olympic team in the 200-meter freestyle a little bit earlier this evening. He's got to be a bit pumped. Look at the breaststroke on lane number 5. Tanner Cole. Yes, I know Tanner Cole. He's a good breaststroker out of Edmonton. He's making a huge move in the breaststroke in this 400-meter individual medley.
Is he ever? He is really flying. Tanner Cole did that last 50 in 37.04. He's moved up into second place. Then I think he's in first place now.
And he's got, other than one other guy, he's 2.5 seconds faster than anybody on that split. So you can imagine how fast he's gone right by everybody. Question now is, he's hanging in there in lane number 7. Julian Dreyer is still in the hunt to be able to race to the finish and get a best time.
Well, you're right. He's actually still slightly ahead up in lane 7. Dreyer out of Island Swimming. This is a good battle here. They'll have 100 meters of freestyle, 2 legs to go after this touch by Cole. He went through 300 in 3:25.19.
Way out in front of the rest of the field. A, these guys are doing a great job, but B, they obviously pace themselves well, but look at the powerful kick. Usually if you're hurting, your legs start to give out towards the end of the race, and these guys have got nice, big, powerful kicks, which will help drive them forward. Look at Cole, he's looking every stroke. Big up, big breath, and he looks right over in lane number 7, Dreyer.
And now he's looking that way as well, so he is looking.
He can breathe on both sides, and now you can see Dreyer's looking back over on the left side. We got a great mano-mano battle here in the last leg for this 400-meter individual medley.
Tanner Cole in lane 5, and Tuja Dreyer in lane 7. Dreyer looks like he might have the slight edge. Can Cole come back on him? Dreyer leading, Dreyer touching in 4:26.50, 4/10 faster than Cole. And then Smith in third place in 4:32.3.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Those two guys just went 10 seconds faster, or Dreyer did, I should say, 10 seconds faster than he did in the morning. Tanner Cole did 6 seconds faster. And I guess that's great, except they need to realize that maybe they need to wake up earlier in the morning, because those times would have actually made the A final. They could have been in the Olympic trials final in the 400-meter individual medley. So that'll be a little bit disappointing for their coaches and for them, but it just means they got to be prepared in the prelims to be able to do the job in the future. So good valuable lesson for these guys.
16-year-old Dreyer is the Canadian junior champion in 4:26.50. Well, you talked about the second swim and what the reason for it, the importance of it. Well, there you go. It's just lesson learned.
Well, lesson learned that you better be good in the first one or you don't get a second one, right? They got one here because of the special junior final. And as the swimmers climb out of the pool, the women that are ready for the 200-meter freestyle B final are just sitting there waiting until they get the whistle from the referee, and they'll be mounting the blocks and getting ready to go.
Well, that was a spirited 400 IM. Now we get set for our 200 women's freestyle B final.
And the favorite in this one is for sure lane number 4, Sylvia Statkovicus. And the reason I say that is she would have been in the final, but she actually is not a Canadian. She is from the Baltic states, and therefore that's her citizenship, and that's who she chooses to swim for. So those athletes that are not Canadian cannot be in the final. We mentioned that before. So she was bumped down here, and by her not being in the final, it allowed Kat Savard to go into the final.
So 4 lengths of the pool, of course, in this women's 200-meter freestyle final, B final. We saw Summer McIntosh swim just a shade off her own Canadian record earlier tonight. Stankovicius was 1:59.13 in her qualifying earlier today. She again is in lane 4. That's the closest of the yellow lanes to us, and she does have the lead. We'll watch this first 50 meters split.
And as we saw in the last race, that some of the swimmers breathe on both sides, some of them only on one side. You can see Statkovicus really prefers to breathe on her right-hand side. She's going to come off here now and then breathe just over on her right. The question is, if there's a big race, will she see the person on her left? Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no, but she pulls away like she's pulling away now. She won't have to worry about anybody else.
Well, Stakavicius is from Lithuania, represents them anyway, and she actually broke a record of Ruta Jotite, but she's not normally considered a freestyler. She's a breaststroker.
Some of the smaller countries, the athletes do a lot of different events, but Jotite, the one that Rob mentioned, is former Olympic champion in the 100-meter breaststroke and making a comeback.
Big time
comeback. She won that gold medal back in 2012, so 12 years later she's trying to make a comeback and win another Olympic medal. This summer in Paris is Jotite, but right now her countrywoman, Stakavicius, who actually lives here in Toronto, trains at the Etobicoke Swim Club under new head coach Mark Spackman, who's doing a very good job there with a club that went through a bunch of coaches. Unfortunately, their former head coach died suddenly, and they've had a little bit of a problem getting organized with how they wanted to proceed in the future, and now they've settled on a coach, Mark Spackman, and he's doing a good job, and it's always a powerful club for Canada, the Etobicoke Swim Club.
She was through 150 and 128.77. Who's in second and third, you ask? Well, it looks like we've got
number 3 is Chrissy Lang from Edmonton, and she might, lane number 5 is making a move, Hazel.
Stakavicius in 159.35. Hazel in 2:01.70, and then Liang in 2:01.90.
And Hazel's parents went to school in Canada. That was her Canadian connection, but she now lives down in the United States. So 159.3. I mean, the 2 minutes is a big barrier. It's nice to get under that. She's done it twice today, so that sets her up pretty nicely to advance her career in the 200-meter freestyle. It's only 16 years of age is Stakavicius. And I do apologize if I'm not pronouncing it exactly with the right pronunciation that a Lithuanian would pronounce it.
You're giving it the old college try.
I'm giving it the old college try.
Next event in the pool, the 200-meter women's freestyle junior final. A couple of 15-year-olds in this race, a 16-year-old, a bunch of 17-year-olds, and one 18-year-old. The 18-year-old is Mia West, and she is in the middle of the pool in lane number 4 out of the Mantis Swim Club. She had the fastest qualifying time at 2:01.15. Does anybody get under 2 minutes here will be the question.
Well, Mia West and her sister Hallie West are the daughters of Riley Mans, a 1996 Olympian for Canada. Although Riley swam the breaststroke, her daughters are very good in the freestyle and the butterfly.
Ella Cosgrove out of Dorval Swim Club.
With the Montreal suburb. She was 4th in the 400-meter freestyle yesterday, just missed the podium. Did Ella Cosgrove, so she's in lane 5 here. You got to expect that she'll be racing to win this one.
Women's 200-meter junior final. Speed and endurance and pace judgment so important. 4 lengths to the pool in this 200. Quickly out to the lead, the swimmer in lane 4, Mia West.
Mia's got some real speed, so she's got to use that. That's her strength. And it'll be interesting because Cosgrove is going right with her in lane number 5. And Cosgrove's got good back end because she's a 200, 400-meter freestyler. So we'll have to see how this plays out in terms of strategy.
Cosgrove touches first after 50 and 28.15. 500ths faster than West.
Well, and the youngest swimmer in the field in lane number 6, just 1 lane over from Cosgrove, is Leah Tiggart. She's only 15 years of age. She is 6'1", but she's only 15 years of age. Swims at the Toronto Swim Club under Coach Bill O'Toole, and she's trying to make a move and stay with it. Look at it. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women basically neck and neck at the halfway mark.
It is West who has grabbed the lead at 58.95 halfway through this women's 200-meter junior final. This is too close to call.
I like the power that these ladies are exerting in their pull. You can just see their bodies surging forward with the pull. And in lane number 3, making up a move now is Jenna Walters, who swims in Guelph. So now you've got 3 women ahead. Basically, 3 women look like they're pulling ahead of the rest of the field. I love the 200 freestyle, Rob, because you can make one move. And if you miss that move, you usually don't have time to remove like a longer race, like a 400. Cosgrove made it going down that 3rd length, and now she's pulling ahead. The question is, did she make her move too soon? And is West going to be able to come back at her the last 20 meters of this race?
Well, here they come. Cosgrove is in lane 5, the upper of the 2 yellow lanes. She's got the lead. And then watch in lane 3 for Walters, but it is going to be close. Cosgrove gets there in lane 5 in 2:00.72, just ahead of Walters. And then in 3rd place, Mia West.
Pretty well executed swim. Cosgrove actually looked like she had a little bit of trouble at about the 175 mark. The athletes were starting to come back to her. She moved down that 3rd length, I said, came off the wall, and then sort of started to labor a bit, and then all of a sudden found another gear with about 15 meters to go and was able to pull away and get herself to be able to win this junior final. Well executed race, actually. A little bit of a blip in the middle, as I said, towards that last length, but still didn't lose her focus.
So a strong swim for 16-year-old Ella Cosgrove. Back-to-back 16-year-olds. Good signs for the future. One for Canada, one for Lithuania, actually. Well, they brought out the flags. That means the backstroke is next. The men's 100-meter back B final is on deck, ready to go.
That man right there is Corville Fortin, 20 years of age, from the Camo Club in Montreal, which is the other wonderful 50-meter pool. It was a legacy from the '76 Olympics. It was actually just sort of at the north of downtown. It was the site of the water polo events during the '76 Olympic Games. There was a thought that when the Olympic pool had the difficulties with the fire, they were going to move this trials to the Camo pool, but it does not have a warm-up pool, and that was the reason they decided to come and move the meet to this pool here in Toronto.
Top of the screen in lane 9, Marcus Mack, then Finn Tuck, then Alexander Lakovic, then Carter Buck, then Parker Lenuch is in lane 5, Luke Corville Fortin is in 4, Hugh McNeil in 3, Brendan Oswald in 2, Brandon Adams in 1, and Kenneth Bracco is in lane 0 at the bottom of your screen.
And the rocket looks like Bracco down in lane number 0. He really looks like he's going out quickly. Bottom of your screen. Oh, now the guys in the middle taking the lead.
And it is at 50 meters. Parker Lenotse, the 19-year-old.
The guy in lane number 3, you can see lane 4 and 5 in the middle. Lane number 3, Hugh McNeil, just want to mention he's from Langley. He was a swimmer of the year in U Sports. He won all the backstroke races, but right now he's going to have to pick it up if he's going to take on Corville Fortin in lane number 4. He's pulling away from the rest of the field.
He is indeed. Corville Fortin. We've got some outside smoke up at the top. Can they challenge? And no, it's going to be 55.77 for Corville Fortin. McNeil second in 56.46, and Buck third in 56.91. The man way up at the top in lane 9 put on a late charge. Marcus Mack, he ended up 5th, just behind. Who's in lane 5? That would be Parker Lenasse.
So Corville Fortin won that one. He was on the 2022 Junior Penn Pac team. So he was identified as a good youngster. Now he's a senior age. He's 20 years of age. So now he's got to make a bigger step if he's going to make the senior team. But winning the B final means that he wasn't very far off of advancing to the A final, which is, of course, the selection and the medals. Junior finalists getting ready to go as soon as these B finalist older guys clear the area.
Well, any names jump out on the start list to you there, Byron?
Well, Paul Orego in lane number 5 was actually born in Texas, but he said, we moved to Canada, and I'm up here swimming now. Ethan Eck, the man in lane number 4, he and his 2 siblings are both here. They're from Tallahassee, Florida, dual citizens, and he's a beautiful swimmer, this Mr. Ethan Eck, and it'll be interesting. He swam freestyle the other day and did a great job, just missed winning a medal, and now here he is in the backstroke.
He had the fastest time in the heats in this group by 1.2 seconds. There he is.
He's a very good swimmer. Watch for this young man in the future for sure.
On the world level, we mentioned that this is the Mark Tewksbury event back in the day. The only other Canadian to win a medal at the Olympic Games. Mike West took a bronze in '84. And the Italian Thomas Ceccon is the world record holder in 51.60. So eventually some of these athletes will think about challenging that, but today they just want to finish first here and get their own lifetime best. Junior 100-meter backstroke final. Jinzir in lane 9 at the top of the screen. Rajnovic, Kurji in 7, Gouvier in 6, Orogo in 5. Then the man we mentioned, Ethan Eck, is in 4, Kevin Kong in 3, watch for him. Justin Fontaine in 2, Caden Duong in 1, and Gavin Shinkelchuk, the 15-year-old out of Windsor, youngest man in the pool out of the Windsor Aquatic Club, bottom of your screen in lane 0.
So the interesting part about backstroke is that if you're ahead of the other guys, unlike other strokes where you maybe take a breath and see somebody, the other backstrokers can't see you. So if you can pull away, they have no idea where you are. And that's an interesting sort of thing that you've got to deal with when you're a backstroker.
Here comes Ethan Eck. He's being challenged by Orogo beside him, but Eck's taking the lead. He's extending it, and he's going to touch first in 56.30. And in second place was Orogo, and third was Kevin Kong in lane 3.
There's Mr. Eck. As I said, his sister and brother are also in this competition. Grew up from Tallahassee. Tan.
Would he be happy, Byron, if he's a little bit slower than he was in the morning?
Well, no, I don't think so, no. I mean, but we're talking hundredths of a second here, and part of it could have been disappointment that he actually didn't make the A final.
I was trying to read his face there, and it didn't seem like he was super thrilled.
No, I think part of it could have been that he didn't make the final, right? I mean, he didn't miss it by much, and so he could have wanted to be in the final. But again, he's young, he's going to improve. He's only 17.
Final 2 events in the pool, the breaststroke, the 100. We've got the women's B final next, followed by the junior final in this race. Middle of the pool in lanes 3, 4, and 5. We've got Brioni Kennett in 3, Eloise Allen in lane 4, fastest qualifier. Jessica Strong is in 5, and Riley Toffelmeyer is in lane number 6.
I remember talking to Eloise Allen. She was a good swimmer in high school about going to university, and I said, where exactly do you live? And she said, well, you can't get there by a road. You've got to get there by a boat to get to where she lives in the, I think it's called an interior island in north of Vancouver. Very, very fast is Eloise Allen. Several national championship titles at the U Sport Championships for the University of British Columbia. She has lane number 4. She should go out like a rocket, and that's exactly what's happening at this point in the race. We were talking about brothers and sisters and siblings. In lane number 1, second from the bottom, is Emilia Mastromateo. Her brother just missed the Olympic team last night, and her younger brother is also in this meet. So we have another family with 3 siblings at the Olympic trials. They're from Kenora, Ontario.
Allen was first in 32.54 in that first 50. She is starting to feel a challenge, though, from Jessica Strong beside her.
Yes, Allen has tremendous front-end speed, but she has a little bit of trouble sometimes towards the end of a 100-meter race. And here comes lane 5 and lane number 3.
Jessica Strong in 5 and Riley Toffelmeyer in 3. This is going to be close. It might be Toffelmeyer. Oh, she reached and she got it in 1:10.79. Toffelmeyer with a really long touch. Wow, they've given it to Brianne Kennett. My mistake, looking at the wrong race. My bad there.
Right in the middle, you can see it. And that's in the middle of them is Eloise Allen, and she does have a little bit of labor at the very end, but now you can see the two getting right into the finish. And your winner is Bennett by Brianne.
Brianne Kennett, by the way, my mistake.
Jessica Strong comes in second. She was on the left of those two because they surged to the wall.
So 1:10.79, the right time. It is Brianne Kennett, who's
half a second faster than what she did in the preliminary. So she rose to the challenge. And you know, sometimes what happens is when you're a rocket like Eloise Allen, you pull the other swimmers out, and then unfortunately you pay the price because you're hurting a little bit at the end, and now they've got a little bit more in the tank. So that's exactly what happened in that race. Here's our final race of the evening, the junior 100-meter breaststroke race. We saw the fastest swimmer in this field. We saw her sister earlier. This is a special night of siblings. Wow. And brothers and sisters. So we'll see her introduced in a second. She's in lane number 4, just walking up there, black cap. Allie West, only 15 years of age, from Winnipeg, the Manta Swim Club. We talked about facilities earlier. Winnipeg has produced some good swimmers, hosted the Pan Am Games in 1967, and built an additional pool next to the Pan Am Games pool in '67. They built another pool there for the '99 Pan Am Games.
So 2 lengths of the pool in this women's 100-meter junior breaststroke final. Top of the pool, Alexandra Leno in lane 9, then Abigail Clark in 8, Baudouin in 7, Tagavi in 6, Hartway in 5, Hallie West in 4, Camilla Blanchard in 3, Grayson Kehoe in 2, Victoria Sun in 1, Abigail Gebhardt is in lane 0 at the bottom of the screen. And it looks like the swimmer in lane 4, Hallie West, is looking strong, as is the one in 0, Gebhardt.
Lane 4 and 5 to the wall first. Looks like he's at Hartway. Nope, it's Hallie West, just 7/100ths of a second ahead of Hartway. Underwater, great streamlining. West looked like her hands were a little bit far apart underwater, not quite as streamlined as maybe she could be, but she's picking up the cadence on this length. West is in the middle of the pool. We mentioned that her mom was a breaststroker at the Olympic Games in 1996. Older sister doesn't do the breaststroke, but younger sister does.
Hallie West with a slight lead over Madison Hartway, and she is trying to extend it. Hallie West still leading. The 15-year-old from the Manta Swim Club is the junior champion in 1:10.36. And then it's Camilla Blanchard in second place. And it is Shima Tagavi, the 12-year-old, who is in third.
There she is right there. You just saw a picture of her right there. 12 years of age, and she's finishing third here in the junior final. She's been breaking records. Every time I look on the website, she's breaking records. Every time she hits the water is Miss Tagavi from the Hayek swim team. There she is.
Canadian age group record.
Another age group record. This woman just keeps breaking all these records. 12 years of age. There she is. Shimi Tagavi from Hayek Swim Club, which is in New Westminster, BC, one of the suburbs of Vancouver. And the pool they used was built for the Canada Games. So again, another legacy facility that young Miss Tagavi gets to train in New Westminster. My understanding is they might be replacing it soon. That was a long time ago, but again, it's brought forth some good swimmers.
Oh, another really good night of swimming, Byron. What jumps out to you in the races that we saw? It all began with that men's 400 individual medley.
Well, you've got a new swimmer on the block. You got Tristan Jankovic, and you know what? He's really 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, you wouldn't have said that he would have had a chance. You wouldn't even have mentioned him as possibilities for the Olympic team. So it's a great breakthrough for him. He's really matured down in Ohio where he's going to school. And he's come forward. Obviously, I keep saying we take Summer McIntosh for granted. She did the fastest time in the world in the 200-meter freestyle. I mean, it just looked like a walk in the park. But I like to see Julie Brasseau make the Olympic team, the youngster, the 18-year-old, for the 4x200 freestyle relay. And then the men's backstroke was great. It's a feel-good feeling. You've got Javier Acevedo, who won this event 8 years ago instead of world junior record. Didn't make it 4 years ago in the backstroke, only made relays, and now he's back as an individual event swimmer at the Olympic Games. So lots of good stories, lots of good swimming. There you go. There's Jankovic.
And we saw Canadian records swum by Caledon, Ontario's Tess Rootliff in the women's para 100 breaststroke as well. It was a dynamite night for swimming in Toronto. If you loved it, be back tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again in the morning. Jason Pratt and Brittany McLean will have the heats. We'll have the finals tomorrow night. So long for now. We'll see you then. Lots of swimming to come from Toronto.
Swimming Canada would like to thank our partners. Le gouvernement du Canada. The Government of Canada. Speedo, votre partenaire de natation de confiance de votre premier saut à chaque traction. Speedo, your trusted swim partner from your first splash through every stroke. Les producteurs de poulets du Canada, fiers partisans et protéines officielles de Natation Canada. Chicken Farmers of Canada, proud supporter and official protein of Swimming Canada. All Tides, fiers de soutenir la natation canadienne. All Tides, proud to support Canadian swimming. Air Canada, transporteur aérien officiel des essais olympiques et paralympiques. Air Canada, official airline of the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic swimming trials.
I have a disability, but I'm not fragile. My first big hit was a rush. It made me feel alive in a way only sports can. Because of partners like Val, I get to feel it on the world stage. And now I get to share that feeling with the next generation.
In the Olympic 400-meter IM in Paris this summer.
It's great to see some new blood as well, all right?
Next event in the pool, the women's 200-meter freestyle final. And this will include the Olympic bronze medalist. She's in the very top of your picture, Penny Alexiak. And it will include the Canadian record holder in the middle of the pool, Summer McIntosh, getting a challenge from Mary Sophie Harvey. Let's meet all the athletes here in this women's 200-meter freestyle final.
Kat Savard was the leadoff in this relay at the Olympic Games when they won a medal in 2016. She's 30 years of age, 15 years on the national team, a three-time Olympian. And I don't think there's a person who's a fan of swimming that doesn't know Penny Alexiak's name.